Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. Time for another 10-minute Tuesday. And today I want to talk to you about a perhaps little known vitamin that's working hard in your body, and that's vitamin D. And vitamin D actually has a fun nickname. It's called the sunshine vitamin. And that's because it's produced in our skin as a response to our body absorbing UVB rays from the atmosphere. So vitamin D is actually really vital for helping our bodies absorb calcium, number one, and it also helps facilitate normal immune system function. So the main function is to help us absorb calcium. So even if you're getting plenty of calcium in your diet every day, if you don't have enough vitamin D, you're actually not going to be absorbing all of the calcium that you should be, because the vitamin D is what helps your body absorb that calcium. So getting enough vitamin D is really important for normal development of bones and teeth, as well as improving resistance to certain diseases. And it's actually estimated that 50% of the global population has a vitamin D deficiency. That's a huge number, 50% of people. So today we're going to just talk about how do we get our vitamin D, how do you know if you might be deficient, and then some of my recommendations to go from there. So the main way that we get vitamin D is from just getting enough sunlight. Our bodies are actually designed to get all the vitamin D that they need from sunshine alone. And that's as long as we get enough sun on our bare skin a few different times a week. And I'll talk about what that amount of time is here in a second. So it's not always possible to get as much as you need, just based on different things like where you live, what time of day it is, the season, pollution levels, even your age, and even your skin color, because our skin contains a substance called melanin that determines how dark or light our skin is. And how much melanin is in our skin also determines how much UVB rays we can absorb while we're out in the bright sunshine. So if you have more melanin and a darker skin tone, it actually takes you longer to absorb the same amount of UVB rays as somebody that has fairer skin. So where you live also plays a really huge part in how much sunshine you get. So in the United States, if you were to look at a map with the parallels drawn on it, do a little geography for you, anywhere that's above the 37th parallel on the map is basically not getting enough sunshine year-round to help your body produce enough vitamin D that you need. So these are states like Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Kansas, Missouri, Kentucky, and Virginia, and anywhere above that line in the U.S., your exposure to the UVB rays is limited mostly to the summer months, and you're not going to be getting enough sunshine in the winter months to kind of carry you through and have enough vitamin D for your body to use. So your body is as long as it's producing enough, that's good, but your body doesn't store it for very long, so it breaks it down very quickly. So even if you're getting plenty of sunshine here in central Illinois, like today, it was beautiful outside, the winter months in Illinois, you're not getting as much sunshine at all because it's cold and you don't want to go outside, and you're certainly not exposing your bare skin to the sunlight like you need to get enough vitamin D. So looking at the map can be really helpful to see if that's somewhere that you might be in an area that you're just not getting enough sunshine anyway, let alone enough to help your body produce the vitamin D that it needs. And then I'll share a really cool website that I found when I was looking this stuff up. It shows you kind of the UVB exposure rate in different months based on where you live in the United States, and that's really cool to check out because you'll kind of see how it changes as the Earth tilts on its axis during the different seasonal changes and all that kind of stuff. So I'll share that for you. You can check it out on your own. So sunlight is the number one way that we get our vitamin D production. We can also get some vitamin D from foods, but it's really not that much. But things like fatty fish, beef liver, egg yolks, fortified milk and juices, and fortified cereals can help us make up for the lack that we're not getting outside in the light. They started fortifying different liquids and foods back in like the 1920s, 1930s, based on some different health issues that were popular at the time. So that was things like rickets, which is like a bone condition. And they realized that on a whole, the United States, people weren't developing with enough bone strength. So they started fortifying milk, other juices, certain grain cereals too. So a lot of that stuff comes standard now. You might see your orange juice come in and it says, fortified with vitamin D, and especially your milk fortified with vitamin D. And that, again, that's back to because vitamin D helps us absorb that calcium that we need. So they're putting it into the milk for you, usually if you buy it off the shelf, to help you get not only the vitamin D that you need, but also the calcium that you need in that milk that you're drinking. And then we can also take supplements to kind of make up for the lack that we have in vitamin D, because it can be really hard to get all the vitamin D that we need from obviously the sunshine and the food that we're eating. So some people take different vitamin D supplements to make up for it. There's actually a vitamin D council that kind of talks about the averages that you should get, and that the average for adults is no more than 10,000 IUs a day, and that's just a different kind of measurement that they use when you look at a supplement bottle, different IUs. So how can we know if we are actually deficient in vitamin D to know if this is a problem for us, and maybe we should look further into what vitamin D can do to help us out. So these are some of the signs of deficiency, and like other conditions or other deficiencies, these could just cross more barriers than just vitamin D, but things like fatigue, painful bones and muscles, soft or fragile bones, especially things like osteoporosis, getting sick or infections more often, or even a depressed mood or general feeling of being unwell. So the vitamin D, not only is it obviously helping with our bones and our teeth and rebuilding those when needed, but can also have that kind of effect on our general overall well-being and how we're feeling too on a daily basis. So some of my, and of course prolonged deficiency over a greater period of time can just lead to more debilitating diseases. And I'm not going to scare you with all those big words, but you can look those up on the internet too if you're just really curious about if you had a lifelong deficiency in vitamin D, what could that actually lead to? And a lot of those are pretty common these days, so it might be something for you to check into. So my recommendations are to get outside. Get as much natural sunlight as you can on your bare skin before you cover up or before you put on sunscreen. Take advantage of the sunny months that you get wherever you live, and try to get some sun on a few times a week. So if you want to have a more specific amount for what your body needs, there's a rule that says you need only need to expose your skin for half as much time as it takes for you to burn. So if you're a person and you know that as soon as you go outside, you're going to burn in 10 minutes and you better get covered up, you might only need 5 minutes of pure sunshine, 3 times a week. If you're somebody that goes out and maybe you don't burn for an hour, maybe you just need 30 minutes, you need a bit of longer time to get the sunshine that you need. So that's kind of just a rule of thumb for you to test out. It's really just specific to your own body, your own skin coloring, especially related to that melanin and how much you're going to be absorbing when you actually get that sunshine on you. So if you have fair skin, it could be a lot less of a time than if you have darker skin. It could be up to a couple of hours that you need to get that sunshine. So another recommendation that I have is to get a blood test. It's pretty common and really easy now to get a blood test to see where your level of vitamin D is. And again, as I mentioned, depending on your location, you just want to go in and get one anyway just to see what your baseline is. And then you'll know, okay, if I live in Florida and I'm getting sunshine plenty of times a week, you might be just fine on the vitamin D that you need. But if you live like me in Central Illinois, kind of above that 37th parallel, I'm really not getting enough from sunshine alone. So I might need to be doing some other things to help out with that. So find out if you're find out if you have a deficiency, then you'll know how much you're lacking and how much you'll need to supplement if that's the route you're going to go. And they recommend getting your vitamin D levels checked every 3 months just because to make sure your maintenance is working. And also the change in the seasons can affect that again, back to your location. So getting it checked every 3 months could be helpful for you. And then a lot of people take a vitamin D supplement. There's lots of them out there. I would just mention that it's good to know your baseline ahead of time by getting that blood test so you know how much you need. And then it's also best to take like a natural vitamin D supplement. Not all supplements are created equal. Different companies have different standards for purity. So it's really good to do kind of like a background check on the company that you might be buying from before you start taking that supplement, putting it into your body in big amounts if that's what you need. And then as always, if you're already taking any medications on a daily basis, you'll definitely want to talk to your doctor about how adding vitamin D into your daily routine could affect those medications, because as with everything in life, anything you put into your body is going to counteract with each other. Some of it will be good, some of it will be bad. So you'll definitely want to know if you're on some kind of heart medication or who knows what. Could vitamin D be affecting the effectiveness of that medication that you're already taking for a different issue? So that's something to just be wary of. Always be an educated consumer, and that's just the right way to go. So that's it tonight, guys, for my vitamin D talk, and I will see you again next Tuesday for another 10 Minute Tuesday. Bye.